Hello, hello, hello. Very good evening now, I guess. Very good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As we just kind of get set up here. Okay, that's fine. All right. Good evening from Monterrey here in, I guess we're in Mexico, right? From Monterrey here in Mexico. Oh, shoot. I have the wrong flight created for right now. We're going to go back. We're going first MMMY to MMMX, which is Monterrey to Mexico City. Monterrey appears to be in Nuevo León, which is in Mexico. So yeah, welcome guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's having a great start to the week. It is a very nice day here today in the low 80s all day. Storm starting to kind of rip through the area though, and apparently it's getting pretty bad, so we'll see. Hopefully we don't lose power here, but if the stream does cut out, that's what happens. So we should be able to at least get through the first leg before we get hit with anything. So I guess without further ado, let's just kind of get started on that so that we don't, like I said, lose power or anything crazy. Let's get the batteries on, and then let's also get the external power online. Start aligning our navs. It looks like all of our lights are off, which is nice, as they're not doing the thing where they're on just max brightness. At least hopefully, we'll see. Let's start caging a standby attitude indicator. What's up, everybody on Twitch as well? Hope everything is going well with all of you guys. Let's oh shoot, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to move all of my views, or not. Okay, just this one. Weird. I don't know if we're back in Microsoft 2024. I'm not sure if we've flown the A321 in Microsoft 2024 yet. I think we've just flown the 320, so we're requesting our boarding from GSX here. We never know how this is going to go. 226 passengers are planned for our flight.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Yeah, wind is definitely starting to pick up around here. Guys, we are so close. Let me update the subscriber count here. Popcat, what is up, man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Holden, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Why my chat was not coming up in OBS? Maybe because it had a pop-up. Let's see, somebody say something again and see if it comes up in OBS. Dang, why is that so loud?
Is in position. Passengers boarding.
We just drove under the plane. Yeah, it's illegal. All right.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Let's go back to the channel. Let me see how many subs we're at. All right, guys. Here is the current sub count. Hang on. Boom. There it is. It says we are 100% of the way there. It's obviously rounding. We are obviously incredibly close, guys. Where are the passengers? Oh, they're loading from the jet bridge. Okay, there we go. We got Popcat and Steven now. I can see the chat messages in OBS. Thank you guys very much for that. Starting off by getting some gas. So pump for some slammer air ups. Holding almost, dude. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. As we are kind of cruising around in our flight today, we're going to talk about Slammer Air and what steps are next for us here a slammer air. We're gonna go against protocol today, though, Holden. We're gonna grease some of these landings today, right? All right, we're gonna be Viva 1353 today with service to Mexico City. Hooking up the refueling hose
Use
there.
your airplane fuel system to set the
Should
desired
be-
fuel quantity.
Should be set. Viva 1353 A321. So I'm just setting up my V-Pilot. We'll go ahead and connect. Lunar's doing awesome with the library. It looks like it, dude. It looks like he is doing a crack-up job. And he's made some libraries in the past, too, and they always look good. So super excited to see what he comes up with. And for him doing that for free, too, is really, really cool. All right. They're fueling. We're going to take a look at what's going on down here. Like I said, back in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it didn't make me mad enough last time to scare me away from it. So we'll use it until we can't anymore. All right, Monterrey, there we are on the ground. They're in VATSIM. Mexican Aviator, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. I knew you wouldn't miss this one, bro. I knew you would not miss this one. All right, they're already about halfway done with the loading. So let's take a look. Mexican Aviator, what runways do they usually use? We'll get the seatbelt signs off while they're doing the refueling. Mexican Aviator, what runway do they usually use here in Monterrey for departures? Currently the wind, what is the wind and weather doing here? Marginal currently, 7 miles of visibility, scattered at 15, broken at 2,000. Let's make sure that with the weather, it did not look that marginal. Maybe a little hazy, but whoa. Live, it is live. Traffic's off, weather's on. Okay. Made sure I didn't. Let's go, dude, let's go. All right, let's request our flight plan information. Wind is 130 at 9, so that would prompt a 1-2 departure today. But let's hear what Mexican Aviator has to say about that before we go and do anything. Flight number, we're going to be Viva Victor India Vico 1353. I like that flight number. It's solid. Cost index, we'll just 99 it, and cruising at flight level 350, I believe. Only an hour flight, but we'll see if the 321 can haul its big butt up to flight level 350 in that short of a time. All right, Mexican Aviator, I'm just going to assume runway 12 here, unless you say anything different. Runway 12 we're going to take for departure, and there's a bunch of different departures that we're looking at here. Not sure, Mexican Aviator says. Okay, no worries, we'll just take runway 12. That's what the winds are favoring and stuff anyways. Let's take a look at Navigraph here to kind of figure out what the heck we're going to do. So our route takes us to the south like this. So we want Kurga as our departure, and when it has, so this is like when it has all these different departures on one plate, the departure is on the line. So like this is the Dejor 1 Alpha, this is the Garla 1 Alpha, so like we don't want either of those. That's the Dotor 1 Alpha. Which one do we want? We want the Kurga 1 Alpha, and also because our final fix is Kurga, so it looks like Dotor's the final fix there. This is the Grala departure. Grala's the final fix there, and then Dejor departure. Dejor's the final fix there. So that's kind of why they named him that way, it looks like. So we want the Kurga departure, so we're going to find that in here. There it is, Kurga 1 Alpha, and then no transition, so we'll just go ahead and submit that. And then going into Mexico City, weather down there right now, 080 at 8 knots, so really we can take whatever runway. It looks like it's good for the 5s. Let's see, is this fine? Does it matter what runway? Doesn't really say what runway, so we're going to expect the Darren 3 Alpha, Mexico City arrival, let's see, 5. What about this one, Mexican Aviator? Do you know, they are using 12 for departures arrivals? Okay, great, Popcat, thank you, sir. 5 left or 5 right? We're going to take Terminal 1, Terminal 2. Ooh, shoot, I don't know, where do these guys park? Does anybody know where they park down in Mexico City? We can kind of We can come back to this one here. We can cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's see, boarding completed, not yet. Still waiting on some cargo. They should be out here with everything though by now. Fueling is done, so let's go upstairs and at least get the APU on. Let's get all the fuel pumps on. It's probably pretty warm down here in Mexico City. We'll get the seatbelt signs on, APU kicking, and now let me take a look at what is the temperature in here. It should be in the pond. 99. Surely that's in. Okay, it is in Fahrenheit. Okay, so it is very hot in here. So let's go ahead and I don't know if you can do this right away, but let's just crank it down. Like, I don't think we get the actual air conditioning until the bleeds are on, so I don't know if it's good practice to do that or not, but I'm just going to watch without chatting. Okay, Steven, no worries. You're not bothering anybody either way. What we're here to do is chat. Mayo, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. What is that? Is that an apple? What am I looking at? They park about anywhere in Terminal 1, Popcat says. Okay, cool. So we'll probably take runway 5 left then. So let's go ahead and set up for that. Mexico arrival. Let's go 5 left. Let's see. What does this say? Weather ATIS real. No real ATIS. Okay. It's a beach. But not when we go toga? Okay, Steven, sounds good. Alright, let's see. Approaches. We're going to want the runway 5 left, I guess. Maybe not because it's only an RNP. Okay, we'll take runway 5 right then. Dang, this looks like quite... Oh my gosh. Is this actually lines you up for a procedure turn? Is that what I'm looking at? Oh no, okay, you don't have to. Okay, never mind. I like the ILS X-ray better. Let's just do that and we'll just vector ourselves. Maybe, I guess. We'll just take the ILS X-ray for now and see what happens. You good, Cap? You sound sick. A little congested just because of... Oh, there's a storm warning if you can hear it. Oh, it's just vibrating. Never mind. Destructive 80-mile-an-hour winds. How far out is it? So if I lose power, just as a heads up, that would be why. My apartment does happen to lose power quite a bit, it seems like. So if I lose power, we might just be over. The storm is to the north of us right now. It looks like I'm actually in a good spot. Might kind of split. It'll be real quick whenever it does hit, so hopefully we don't lose power like all night if that is the case. Okay. Anyway, I think we wanted... What arrival did we want? We wanted the Darren 3 Alpha, or Dara 3 Alpha. So we'll take that, and then no VIA for the approach. I don't think... Yeah, there's no VIA. Okay, cool. So that's the approach. That's everything we're going to do. Let's see how they're coming on boarding. Very, very close. I think they are done. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. My bad. Looks like they are just about done with boarding, or loading up the containers, just getting the last couple on there. Not sure, but Terminal 2 might depart 5 right. Oh, what is that? Wait, go away, Navigraph. Welcome. Thank you, whoever that was, for subscribing. Appreciate it, man. I missed it there, but thank you so much for subscribing. Appreciate you. What was I gonna say? Popcat, or who said am I sick? Mayo, I am not sick. I have allergies. Allergies are kicking my butt right now, so that does suck. Okay, we'll get constraints on and kind of go from there. Let's see. Let's just go through the plan phase real fast and just kind of step through the arrival. So pretty much be straight out to Mike Yankee 702. We want to be at above 3,500 there. Then Mike Yankee 700, a right turn to 4,500 feet. And then Mike Yankee 721, and then at above flight level 200 at Kurga, which should be no problem for us there. We need a perf page here in a minute, and the init B page. So we'll keep that up over there, and then we'll fly straight south, pretty much on a crazy little arrival to descend us down into Mexico City. So that all looks good. Let's get the VORs on, and let's see, does this departure say anything in terms of... No, we'll just set flight level 200 just to make sure that we're there by Kurga. Okay, so all that looks good. What else do we got? It doesn't say boarding is complete yet, so I won't be able to send it. Oh, we're missing 6 passengers. Figured that would be done by now. So we'll just wait on the final numbers for everything. Hear the lovely boarding music here. Apparently this is a new livery for Viva. Don't forget to file a flight plan. Limp says, Limp, good point, brother. Good call. Limp just out of nowhere, as always. Saving the day. Love it. Alright, boarding is completed. Lunar, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing tonight, sir? Alright, runway 12, sync load sheet, sync weather, calculate, and send to the McDo. Let's not do flaps 2. I don't know why with the 321 it always wants to do something else. Calculate that, send all that to the McDo. We've got our fuel information there. Let's go to perf 151, 156, 159, flaps 1. All that stuff looks great. Let's go through the hat, make sure we've got everything. Radnav's good. Prague we can leave blank for now. Perf. Actually, Prague, we'll just MX. There we go. Set that up. Perf looks good. Fuel looks fine for now. And we'll just copy the active for now. Did I just become your FO? Absolutely, Limp. You are in. You are in. Doing great here in the shop, working on the 738. Let's go, bro. We were talking, Lunar, we were just talking about how excited we are about that and how good it was already looking. You are the GOAT for that one, Lunar. All right, let's prepare for pushback and departure if we can. I hope it's not. Okay, no, it should be coming. Perfect. Okay, let's get the beacon on. We're getting down to business here. APU bleed coming on? No. Let's see, is the temperature changing yet?
Hello, Captain. We are ready
Not
for
yet.
pushback.
I think because I just turned the bleed on. Yeah, now it's coming down. Yeah, guys, and we're going to talk, as long as I don't lose power here, we are going to talk about the airline in the air once we get going here. So like I said, I'm trying to hustle up.
Departure checks completed.
That temperature is going to come down real quick, but we'll get everybody some real cold air for now. All right, frequency-wise, tower is 18.1. We're just going to use that.
Looking here.
18.1, and let's just make sure that our mic is working. It is. Okay, great. Everything looking good here in the beautiful Fenix A321 as always. Yeah, it doesn't look too broken at 2,000 for me, but maybe it's just a little hazy. I don't know. Okay, we're going to be nose to the right here.
Release parking brakes.
Beacon light is on. We are good to release the parking brake. Let's go ahead and do that.
Commencing push.
Let's verify we have engine bleed pressure. We do. Let's go ahead and start up engine numero uno. Espanol. Oh, that's moving too fast. There we go. Something about those IE engines, chat. I don't know. Those are just good looking engines right there. Cap, I can't remember what GPU do I have. I have a Ryzen 6700 XT holding, which I think is getting to be a little bit dated at this point. This computer's like 4 or 5 years old. Spanish will be tested today. Mexican Aviator, are you impressed so far? Oh. I just moved my throttles to idle, so hopefully that's all that was.
Please set parking brakes.
Parking brake is set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Cockpit to ground.
We have a
Alright,
good engine
on
start.
engine number 1. Let's
You
go
can
ahead and get
disconnect.
number 2.
Unlocking gear.
All baggage on board.
Dang, it just drops it all the way to the floor. There we go. Not too bad though, 12 gigs. My ripoff 46, you only had 8 gigs. Yeah, it is nice. I haven't ever really ran into like too many VRAM issues or anything like that.
Total disconnecting. Bypass being removed. Safety is clear. Right is
I
clear.
do love the accents. The immersion is pretty
Fail.
awesome. Alright guys, looks like we've got 2 good engine starts here just about. Slammer Ops when? Mexican Aviator very, very soon. We're going to talk about that once we get airborne here in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and zero out the rudder trim. Norm on that. Arm the speed brakes, flaps to 1, max auto brake. And let's go ahead and kill the APU. Now we've got everything on. Beacon lights on. Let's go ahead and flip our taxi lights on. And just like that, guys, we are ready to rock and roll. I have to have my graphics on low. Oh, dang, dude. I think mine are all on, like, medium. Like, nothing crazy, that's for sure. Oh, okay. Monterrey traffic, Viva 1353, taxi to runway 12 on Bravo, Monterrey. Alright, I had no idea. Did Hardjaws ban butter again? I don't think so. Why? Did you see something? I didn't see anything if you did. Let's take this line. Let's test the takeoff config. We just need to get the predicted wind shear on. Let me check the air conditioning one more time here real fast. See how everybody's doing back there. It's cooling down a little bit. It's cooling down. Still 94 in the back. It must work its way from front to back or something because it's 72 in the cockpit. That's crazy. Alright, let's get the predicted wind shear on. Okay, I think that's good. Alright, we're just going to taxi on Bravo. Buttering is bad, Mexican Aviator said. Oh no, I hope that's not. Okay. There we go. I think he's saying he can't chat. What, is he saying that in Discord? Let me see. Oh. Okay. Well, if he can't chat. Ente, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. I prefer hard landings. That's right. We all do here at Slammer Air. I will see what I can do once we get to cruise. Oh, wait, participants? No, like I don't have a list of people that are just watching, I don't think. Community moderation. Oh, here we go. Hidden users, infinite butter. Okay, wait. Butter, try typing now. Hi Luke, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, I do not fly the 320 in real life. Hopefully one day, though. My last landing's in the 737 where butter Mexican Aviator says that Mexican Aviator, that's not good, bro. Oh, congrats on the permit, brother. That was the 321. If you mean the current flight. Uh-oh. Yeah, sorry if that's what you meant. Oh, shoot. Wait, yeah, let's actually... 2000, that's good. Let's go to auto. Nope, let's go to on. Yep, let's go to on, and let's go TARA. Poor Butter, I feel for you. Infinite Butter, he's back. We got him back. Let's go. Monterey traffic, Viva 1353, taking runway 12 for departure. Monterey. 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 1353, taking runway 12 We got him back, guys. Let's go. Let's get all of our lights on. Everything is looking good here. I believe this is runway 12, right? Yeah. It's expectation bias right there is what that is. Oh, Pilot Luke, this is your office. Is it really? Shoot, what did I was just asking about something. Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about the air conditioning here in a minute, Pilot Luke. If you're still around, I do want to ask you about the air conditioning a little bit. Welcome back, Infinite Butter, bro. He's unbanned. Alright, let's spool him up 50. Here's a question for you right now, Pilot Luke. Where do you spool up throttles to when you got the IAE engines? Because obviously, like, spooling them up 50 is different on the CFMs. Alright, Manflex 55. Oh, somewhere in there. It's there somewhere. There it is. Manflex 55 SRS. Auto thrust is blue. Coming through 80 knots. I don't know what's going on with these runway textures here. V1 and rotate. Let's boogie. No tail strikes. Got a positive brake gears coming up. Let's go outside. Yeehaw. Oh yeah, look at that bad boy. Look at that mountain out there. That mountain has aura peeking through the smoke, or peeking through the clouds like that. Oh, I forgot. It always rolls right on me. Monterrey traffic, Viva 1353, you're off runway 12, depart the pattern to the south. Let's go, Monterrey. Lever climb, let's pull it back. Oh, yeah. Get that nose over. If Hardjosh shows up, everyone needs to hide Butter, make him feel bad. That's awesome. Cap, come on now, some more Spanish. Habla inglés, por favor. Infinite Butter said, Ryanair, Ente, if you want to send an application to Cyber Air, you need to land at least 1.8 to have a chance. Exactly. And Mexican aviators are quality control guys, so if he sees you greasing landings, you're in trouble. Do you know Sharklet from Airbus around 2 meters? Dang, those things are big, dude. Love the sound of the IAEs, so good. Let's see, alright, let's go S-speed, flaps coming up. It's really just slats, we do this every time. They come up? Okay, I think they're coming up. Just slowly. Alright, we'll get this right turn coming here shortly. Pilot Luke says 1.05 on the IAEs, however you still have N1. I tend to use that as it's common with CFMs, although I'm sure SOPs is set at EPR. Probably. I guess... Oh, I guess you are... Wait. You said you still have N1. Oh, yeah, you do. Okay, I see. I honestly never even noticed that. Pilot Luke, I never noticed that there's still N1 down here. That's interesting. See, Mexican aviator says. Gracias. I will kick the autopilot on and do a quick little after takeoff. Spoilers are disarmed, norm flaps are up, auto brakes are off, and our lights are set. We're under 10,000 still, so we'll keep the lights on. Infinite Butter said IE is slightly less thrust than CFMs. You usually see on the 320 family. Is this true, Pilot Luke? Ente said, Captain, how does it feel that an aircraft does everything for you? Are you even a pilot? Dude, this is weird. This is weird, not having to hand fly a Caravan all the time. We get the terrain on. Let's see, I don't think the rain has started yet here. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, Pilot Luke, currently I'm flying the Caravan. with hopes and dreams of getting to something like this one day. Okay, so with the AC, Pilot Luke, what I did want to know is I mean, the aft cabin is still significantly warmer than the cockpit, so it seems like it flows from front to back. So how does that work? Do you have a CPL or ATPL frozen in real life? What does frozen mean, Ente? Ente, I have a CPL. I do not have the ATP yet. Usually, you can get your ATP on your own, but it costs money, so usually people wait to get their ATP from the airlines. Pilot Luke said the tray table makes up for it. Infinite Butter said I like Boeing. Yoing. Just made a Boeing edit if you want to check it out. Yeah, man, we'll check it out here. Okay, so that was my air conditioning question. So we can probably turn the cockpit one to like here. Keep these ones as cold for now. So that's what we're adjusting it to eventually, I guess. Those are still set at 48. Maybe that's too much. It's going up to like 80. That's kind of wild. All right, through 10,000, let's get our lights off. And seatbelts has to come off. That's way too technical off the top of my head. Let me get my iPad and check the manual. Okay, no worries. No worries if you don't want to do that either. I feel that. That is a technical question. And they said, what I've heard is your ATP will be unfrozen after you get 1,500 hours. In Europe, maybe I don't know of American. Yeah, we don't use the term frozen. Ente. I get what you're saying though. Like we have our ATP, we start being able to use it at 1,500. Like well, and that's also, there's other things that go along with that too. You have to have a certain amount of nighttime, cross-country time. Maybe instrument time too. Okay, got the iPad. Ask me the question again. Luke, how does the air flow? Because obviously it's way colder. I have all the temperatures set to the same thing right now. And it's way colder in the cockpit though, compared to the aft cabin. So I was just wondering. I just saw on a checklist after takeoff, you're supposed to turn off the runway lights. Is this true? Is that true, Pilot Luke? I usually just wait till 10,000. Maybe it's different in the Airbus. Ente, with the ATP though, once you hit all your minimums, like then you can start applying to airlines, but it's different too. Like 1,500 hours is the big one, but then again, there's certain cross-country minimums, nighttime minimums, and I think some instrument minimums as well thrown in there. So you have to meet all those hour requirements and 1,500 hours. Then you can start applying to airlines. So that would be where your quote-unquote unfrozen would be at there, Ente. So, like, but for me, I have a Pilot Luke. Before I check the manual, the cockpit is always freezing compared to the cabin, but I'll see what Airbus says. Let's see what the boys really say, but nice. I like that. That's the by the book answer is coming, but the realistic answer, it's always like that. It is always like that. Except 35,000 feet, so cruising altitude. Isn't that a lot? 1,500? Yes, Ente. It is definitely a lot of hours. But that's why, like, I have such an amazing job because, like, I got my job at 250 hours. You know, which is like flying a Caravan, which is a turboprop, flying people for basically like a mini, you know, a real airline, but basically a mini version of, you know, what we're doing here in the sim. Is super, yeah, I'm blessed to do what I do. So, but yeah, like there are ways to get around that though, Ente. So personally, I'm gonna have a restricted ATP, which you have to go through. You have to get a bachelor's degree through an aviation accredited program. So whatever the heck that means. You have to get a bachelor's degree through an aviation accredited program, and then you can have a 1,000-hour restricted ATP. And then if you get a, which I also have, an associate's degree. And if you have an associate's degree through an aviation credit program, you can get a 1,250-hour reduction. So you can essentially get as many as 500 hours taken off your final hours. So gear up triggers and nose lights. Okay, taxi and turn off lights and spoilers disarmed. Okay, gotcha. So that's a little flow. We can start running right after the rotation. Southwest has you turn off the landing lights at 18,000 feet. Lim says, okay, gotcha. Luke says in the UK flew the Airbus 250 hours. Dude, don't even get me started. I've told this story a couple times on here, but we flew from DC to Frankfurt on a 747, and was the crew was super cool. They let us come up in the cockpit afterwards, and I was talking to the first officer, and he said for a while he flew at Austrian first, and he was on the 767 at 250 hours, bro. When I tell you that I'm like so jealous about that. I mean, good for you guys, dude. On Aerofly, I have 33 hours total. Nice, infinite, nice. Ente, yeah, sometimes, dude, being from Europe definitely pays off, and being in aviation, yeah. Ooh, good question there for Pilot Luke. Yeah, it's a good question for him, Ente, because he's obviously sounds like he's from Europe, it sounds like he's from Europe, so he'd have a better idea about those type of programs. Because currently in America, like being in a cadet program is the only way to get a job. I don't know how it is in Europe, but all right, through 18,000 feet. Well, basically, I'm not from Europe, but yeah, I'm from Europe. Right. So the aft cabin is just hot. We'll see if we can get it turned down for the boys back there. We are through Kurgan, and we were not at flight level 200, by the way, so should have done that. I want to start my cadet program in 2028. Ente says, yeah, sooner the better. Oh, geez. Luke says, I have friends flying the 330 with 300 hours and 350 with 1,500 hours. It's ridiculous. Very lucky, but you guys get paid way more. Yeah, that's true, too. Still, though, man, I do this job for free, bro. I know a lot of people, like, a lot of people in my classes and stuff, were like, oh, you know, I can't wait to just, you know, why did you, we would always ask to do those projects and stuff, why do you want to be an airline pilot? Well, because they make a ridiculous amount of money, and you can have a woman in every city. And that's not why I got into this, bro. Like, I'd fly for free. I just have such a passion for it. I love it. So the money is not a factor for me, but that is true. That is true. Still trying to find the answer in this terrible manual. Luke, it's okay. I don't expect you to have, you don't have to do that. What altitude is Slammer Air gonna have us turn off the landing lights? Hey, Limp, we do it at 10, brother. I just got the landing lights and passenger signs off at 10. So but we'll put that in the SOP. Maybe we'll stick with Pilot Luke's way that he does it. What he said the nose lights, so this one here, and the runway turnoffs come off right after, and then the disarm the ground spoilers right at rotation, right after rotation, pretty much. Ente said, if I complete my cadet program, I don't care about getting captain or getting money. I just want to fly for free. Nice. Luke said, Holden said, how long does it take for that region of the world to become a captain? Ooh, that's a good question. See, the captain hours make up for the lower FO hours. Ooh, true. That's a good question, Holden. And they said, just give me my ATPL type rating 777. I'm the happiest person in the galaxy. Oh my gosh. Me too. That would be great. I would love a 777 type rating. Dude, I've briefly looked into, like, you know how Cathay, basically you can do the same thing at like Cathay, where you get like a job flying like a 747 in like 250 hours. I've poked around with that idea, but All right, Luke says, all I'm seeing is that the temp is measured A in the cockpit for the cockpit, zone B in the laboratory for the cabin. Take that as you will. In my experience, just set the temp control how you feel. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, we pretty much, that aft cabin temperature is still hot. That's turned all the way down. 4 subs to 1K, Infinite Butter. We are so close, dude. We are so close. Getting super, super pumped about it. Oh, also, Pilot Luke said 3,000 hours, give or take. Min's normally 2,500. That's still not bad, dude. That's still not bad. Who's the best short editor I watch, Infinite Butter? I don't really watch. I mean, sometimes I scroll through shorts, but like, I don't know. I don't really know any specific editors, Infinite Butter. I'll say you. Ente said, can you imagine starting with Emirates? Dude, I actually flew a guy one time who flew a 777 for, he was like, oh, I flew for Emirates and Air India and all these places. I was like, dang, bro. You're also in Fahrenheit. Luke, I said the same thing whenever I started. Whenever I first turned on the APU, it was at 99 degrees. I was like, I really hope we're in Fahrenheit. We are. We are in Fahrenheit. Only 4 people, Limp. I know, dude. I think if we hit, I don't know what do you guys want to do? I guess the passenger's gonna have a heat stroke back there. They might. What do you guys want to do for 1,000 subs? I think we should. I still want to do that. One of those live streams where we just all have, where we can all talk in the Discord. I think that'd be cool, maybe for 1,000 subs. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I never thought I'd get to 1,000 subs. Party. More Viva ops. Group flight. Well, you guys are always welcome to join in on these flights, but should the library wait till 1K? Lunar, maybe. Yeah, maybe that we can do the we can launch the airline at 1K. One group flight. Okay. Group flight with the Discord voice chat. Let's fly from Perth, I think, to London. Wow, Ente, that would be wild. Here's the thing, Lunar, with the library though. I mean, we're only 4 subs away. We should be able to get 4 subs this week. So keep cracking at it, but I think we'll wait. I think that's a good idea though. I think we'll wait on all that stuff until we get to 1K. Ooh, Mexico City came online. We have approach online now for Mexico City. What else? There was something else I wanted to look at. Checklist for too hot in cockpit or cabin. States, check bleed system page. If the difference between both packs is 10 degrees C, turn the pack with the highest temp off. I don't think we have an issue. We don't have an issue anymore. I was just wondering because it was such a big difference from the front to the back. Let's check the bleed page though. That's interesting. I never thought to look at the packs. Just sent some screenshots. All right, Mexican Aviator, we'll take a look at those here in a second. Holden said that would be fun. Maybe something scheduled. I'm always at work when you stream. I could try. Well, it depends. We'll schedule. Okay, I see what you're saying. For the group flight, schedule something. Yeah, we will do that. We will schedule the group flight out. As soon as we hit 1,000 subs, we'll start talking about what we want to do and where we want to go. I'm open to the idea of a long haul as well. So we could talk about it. Definitely getting some screenshots of library later today on the Discord. Really, Lunar, it's coming along that well. Oh my gosh, you're the goat, bro. Ente said, do you think that if you really study hard and put effort into your cadet training, you can do it? Do you have any advice? Give me or us on your way. Well, Luke, that question is probably open to you as well. Ente, yeah, I think you can definitely do it, dude. I'm not smart. I suck at math. My reading skills are mid. I just love aviation and just have a passion for it. So yeah, I say you can definitely do it. Leave the APU on, that would keep it cooler. Infinite butter. Luke, correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't think that would do anything though, because I would assume, much like with the electrics and everything like that, how the generators and the engines take over once they start, I would assume they take over for the bleed pressure as well and provide more bleed pressure than the APU, which is where we get the AC from. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong though. How's the flight plan, or how's the flight going? Popcat flight is going really good right now. We are cruising right along. I don't know when we're going to be at top of descent though. 188 miles, so we're not going to have that long of a cruise phase. Let's honestly stop at, what, do we have a headwind or anything right now? 49 knots crosswind. All right, let's just stop at, where is it? Let's stop at, 310, honestly. Is that not where we do this? Where, there we go. Oh. Let's just stop at 310, or not. Okay, there we go. Let's see, packs are controlled by the engines for the air conditioning as well. AP won't change that. There we go. Stole the words out my mouth. Bro is literally me. Captain saying, you're not smart in being a pilot, just sounds so funny. I don't know, man. I'm definitely not the smartest guy in the world. Let me see, let me make this a little bit smaller maybe. And then we're gonna get the verse of the day on the screen. We got an interesting verse of the day today, guys. We got a verse from Habakkuk, which we're definitely going to take a look at Enduring Word for, because there's probably some context here that we're missing, and I want to do this before we get hit with this storm, so we're going to do this here probably right now. Where is this storm? Oof, it is encroaching on us. In that case, you'll be EASA, which ground school is 100% bank. You still need to learn it, but passing exam 90%. You don't need to flying is the hard part. You need to study hard for that. See, Pilot Luke, my thing was, I mean, the groundwork was harder for me than the flying. I mean, it wasn't that bad though. I mean, I don't know. You need a basic understanding of stuff, right? Like, you need a basic understanding. You do have to understand aerodynamics and how the air flows over the wing, and you know why a plane flies. Because the answer isn't magic dust. You know, you can't get away with that. So I would say you need a basic understanding of a lot of things, but you don't really have to like master any of that type of stuff. Flip said I would fly with you more if I had some sort of heads up. Just saying. I'm sorry. I know this one. I literally just got back up here. I drove for like 2.5 hours, and I was just like, I just want to stream, and I don't want to wait. Like, I don't want to schedule it a half hour out, and I have to work in the morning, so I didn't want to wait for this one. But I get what you're saying. Listen, I usually give about a half hour heads up. Lim. I can't usually do more than that, to be fair. Headed home, Cap. Holden says, have a great rest of your stream. If I get home in time, I'll tune back in. Okay, sounds good, Holden. Appreciate you being here, man. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's go over the verse of the day right now here. Looks like we're getting some light chop here at flight level 310. Oh, the wing says otherwise. So Habakkuk 2:14 says, For as the waters fill the sea, the earth will be filled with an awareness of the glory of the Lord. So again, just taking this at face value, not looking at any, what do you call it? Pilot Luke said, you guys have oral exams though, not 4 multiple choice answers, which you've seen before. I did some flying down in Florida for 6 months. I found the oral a bit tricky. Oh, the orals suck, dude. The orals are my least favorite part. I didn't realize that you don't have orals over there. Yeah, the orals are some of the worst things in the history. Like, you'll the last couple orals I've done, I've left and I've been like, dude, I failed that. And then, I don't know. They're just hard. They're just hard. The orals really, really suck, dude, because they can ask anything. Like, nothing's off the table. And it's usually not like, what's your oil pressure? Like, what's the highest your oil pressure can be before it's in the yellow? You know, like, which, because those are things you know, those are things you study. You know, what's your rotation speed? You know, they don't ask that. You know, they ask some crazy stuff, but. And just said I would have a 2.5 time to practice, 2.5 years of practice. I think that would take some time. I'm preparing for 36 months for school. Dang, we're hitting some pretty good turbulence up here. On time, according to Infinite Flight, I was getting 160 knots of headwind and tailwind. Yeah, oh, that's a big wind shear. One time, not on time. Or no, you did say on time, but you meant one time. Captain, where can we apply for Slammer Air? Entei? I don't know. We're working on that. Wouldn't recommend trying to study beforehand at all. Be good at math and physics. Do not try to learn ground school yourself. Trust me. Yeah, Entei. Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, Lunar. Sounds good. Safe travels. I would agree with that too. I think it's tough to, because if you study too far out, like, you're just not going to learn it all. Like, what I would do with the orals and stuff like that is just like, I would study a little bit, like maybe a month or two out if I knew I was going for the check ride, but I really would start studying like a couple weeks before the oral, because that's when you're going to actually remember stuff. So, Luke, how many hours do you have now? Luke also said orals are actually awful. I told one CFI I'm not required to do orals as I was not FAA licensed. They were not happy. Ooh. Was that okay, interesting. So what were you doing flying in Florida if you weren't trying to get your FAA license? Were you just getting some hours? Stream hasn't updated. It still says the stream started 14 months ago. How long till landing, Infinite Butter? Infinite Butter should be on the ground in, well, Mexico City. 200 miles. I thought it gave us a Zulu time. Does it give us a Zulu time in here? 22:41 Zulu time. Currently it is 22:01 Zulu time. So about 40 minutes till we're on the ground. Okay, let's keep going through Habakkuk here because, like I said, I don't want to lose power and miss this because this is the most important thing. Have around 1,000 hours on the Airbus, Luke says. Nice. That's awesome. Okay, so taking this verse at face value with no like context, not reading into it or anything like that at all. For as the waters fill the sea, the earth will be filled with an awareness of the glory of the Lord. I see this as like, okay, the waters fill the sea. That's just something that is. You can't deny that the waters fill the sea. And I want to reach 1,000 hours on the 777 this year. Do you mean in flight sim? Oh my gosh. So like, yeah, so for as the waters fill the sea, the earth will be filled with an awareness of the glory of the Lord. So like, the waters, they just are filled with the sea. That's just something that is. What Habakkuk is saying here, and I believe Habakkuk was a prophet, so I believe this is probably some sort of prophecy. The earth will be filled with an awareness of the glory of the Lord. That's just something that is, right? And one day, when Jesus comes back for the second coming, everybody is going to see the glory of the Lord, the full glory of the Lord. So I believe that's one of the things that maybe he is kind of alluding to here in this verse. For as the waters fill the sea, the earth will be filled with awareness of the glory of the Lord. That's probably some sort of prophecy. Now, again, this is taken at face value. We are going to look at some of the, what's it called? We're going to look at Enduring Word for the commentary and breakdown of this. Let's go to Habakkuk. Oh, Luke was hour boating down there. Much better weather for Viva, probably cold, wet England, dude. Amen. It's really frustrating, like, because down in Florida, there's like 350 flying days a year or something like that, except for the thunderstorms and stuff like that. So, yeah, and the weather sucks up here. Like, I was just thinking about that on my drive up because, like, I love flying in the summer, and, like, it makes me nostalgic. And I think it's because, like, throughout flight school, you can really only fly in, like, the spring and the summer around here because the winter, I mean, just like lose every day. So yeah, I feel that. Do you guys have to like pay per approach that you do in England, Luke? I've heard that that's a thing. Like shooting instrument approaches is like way more expensive out there or something. I'd be interested to see what you have to say about that. All right, let's see what Habakkuk, what the breakdown of this verse says. I'm not IRL typewriter for that thing, so I have to be flight simming. I know, Ente, I know. The way you said that, though, you were just like, I want to hit 1,000 hours on the 777 this year. It's like, bro. That was just silly. Okay. So the verse group that Enduring Word has is chapter 2, verses 12 through 14. Woe to the violent is the title of this. It says, woe to him who builds a town with bloodshed, who establishes a city by iniquity. Behold, it is, or is it not, of the Lord of hosts that the peoples labor to feed the fire, and nations weary themselves in vain, for the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. So now, like, that, I don't know, that kind of gives us a whole nother meaning, right? Infinite Butter said, winter sucks around here. Winter sucks here in the south? Why, Ente? Or Infinite Butter. Ente said, laugh at me and wait for the time when I fly the 777 around the world without my tray table. Hey, I'd take the 777 with no tray table. I'd be okay. Woe to him who builds a town with bloodshed. So it says, the Lord was not only displeased with the greedy men, he also pronounced a woe against the violent man. So, you know, I don't know. That to me, that just means that God says there's another way to do things that it doesn't have to be violence. It doesn't have to be that way. So that's one of the things that he's saying here. But which is also interesting because a lot of the Old Testament is about violence and about, you know, the Israelites taking over these places in the Promised Land and, you know, going to war against other people and stuff like that. So I think it's interesting too because God has a place for both. God has a place for violence and can use it for his purpose and to bring him glory. And then also, though, I think just generally speaking, he's like, okay, you know, you don't want to just be going out getting fist fights in bars and stuff like that. That's not a holy violence. That's not a righteous violence. So I think there is a place for both. And then this one pertains directly to our verse. Says the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord. The violent man thinks that his power gives him the right to abuse others for his gain, right? Think about like a bully in school or somebody who might be bigger and stronger than you and think, oh, I can take advantage of this guy because I'm bigger and stronger than him. That's what Habakkuk is actually speaking about here. The violent man thinks that his power gives him the right to abuse others for his gain. As a correction and a rebuke, the Lord reminded the violent man of his triumphant, his ultimate triumph. So this, I think this is a good one because this shows that like the actual context of the verse is much different than what we were thinking, right? I was thinking this was about, you know, I was thinking this was just about, you know, maybe a second coming and kind of doing that whole thing. But no, this is actually Habakkuk talking about violence and how the Lord kind of is speaking against that. So pretty interesting there. Let me know if you guys have any questions about that. I thought that was a pretty solid one. All right, let's see. Pilot Luke said, flight sim captain. Yep, general aviation is so costly here. I don't bother doing it anymore. We would do the ILS approaches, but not tell the towers so they wouldn't charge us. Oh, okay. So that's a good... Okay. That's interesting. Now, there's probably times where you have to let the tower know, I'd imagine, right? Or else, like, it wouldn't count for your, like, rating? Or is that kind of one of those, like, under-the-table things where you're just like, yeah, we did them? Let's just South Canada captain. When you flight sim around with the Airbus example, do you take the flight level, what the McDo says, or the flight plan? Well, usually the McDo and the flight plan match up if you load it from SimBrief. But like in this example, I changed it because we weren't going to have that long of a cruise phase, and we were climbing very slow, so I just stopped it at 310, and our crosswind was already strong enough, and usually it gets stronger as you go higher, so I just stopped it. That's the only reason why I did that. Infinite Butter said cloudy, windy, rain, always hot too. Yeah, well, hot is better than cloudy and hot is usually better than cloudy and cold, because cloudy and cold means there's a freezing level, and if you're flying a 172, you can't fly in any kind of freezing level. So at least if it's warm, you can still fly in the clouds. Infinite Better says, I see those, but it's always flight level 17, or flight level 170. I think it's something random. What do you mean? If you have a flight plan, take that. Airbus doesn't always, or Airbus always gives you an optimum flight level, but only accurate if you put all the winds in for the route. Fair enough. For our checks, yes. For building hours, no. They charge you all the landing takeoffs. Oh, jeez, dude. That's crazy. Greedy. Greedy, 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 those guys. So what do you guys generally do for the optimum cruising level? Because I've seen that before, where you have like the optimum, you have the recommended max, and I've heard somebody say, what, you don't want to be generally above recommended max, you can go above optimum or something like that. Do you guys ever really use optimum, or how far are we from top? It's at 77 miles, so let's start getting ready here for the ILS. I think we're gonna go night mode on the charts here. Think I'm a Leap Sim man. All right, Infinite, no worries, no worries. Looks to be seen a VFR chart for the UK, especially around London. It's awful. No, I can't say I have. I cannot say that I have. All right, let's take a look at Navigraph for this. I love the 1,000-foot call out from the Airbus. Okay, we're gonna come down here and we're going to enter the descent data. Yes, thank you for destination data. QNH in Mexico City is 3019. Nice high pressure day down there. Temperature is 29. All right, almost 90 degrees. Winds are 020 at 10, 020 at 10, so out of the northeast, so we'll be expecting runway 5 still is fine. And going into Mexico City, minimums are 75, 66. Oh no, who's that again? What did I miss? Joe Sardo become a member. Shout out Joe Sardo. Oh, Limp gifted a membership. Shout out